Purpose. Hello. 13th week of our live show here. I'm Josh. This is Jim, Ripper Machinist. You probably know who we are by now. Jim's been on here a number of times.
I had to fill your gaps.
Yes, you've had to fill it. So anyway, we don't have cars in front of us today, but Trucks of Fortune has been we announced last week on the show.
You've been handling almost all of that.
Yeah. So last week was a busy week because we had the Trucks of Fortune launching, but we also got a new machine. So new machines are big days here.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Mega stressful, but it's also like a 6-month process.
From we were thinking about it in summer, but we were starting negotiations in August.
Yeah. So, we've been 4 or 5 months and just like thinking, deciding, going back and forth between choosing machines. We have a lot. How many mills do we have in-house now?
I think it's like 16.
16?
Maybe, or less.
So somewhere around there.
Not the count we had.
Yeah. This is another 5-axis. This is our third 5-axis machine. And this is all stuff here in our facility around us.
We shrunk down, so it's 13 because we did more automation.
Oh, that's right. So we did have more mills at one time, but we've taken and sold some older equipment and brought in more that has like the robotic systems on it. We were actually talking today about trying to do maybe a little bit of showing some of that on this show. I think we have a method to be able to do that little bits at a time. Maybe we'll try and do that here in the upcoming weeks as things go. But that new 5-axis is getting set up. It's a big machine. It was a big effort to get it moved in place, but now we still have a lot of time to get. Jim takes over now. Well, after
I won't get the machine till middle of December, pretty much after everything's done, probably.
So they bring in those big machines. And they have to set up all the options, and just the setup of the machine itself takes quite some time. So it's the brand that we picked was a Natsura, which is what a lot of our shop is. Super accurate Japanese machines, but it's something we've talked about here, wanting to show more of like the actual shop stuff as well without going around. And we have our own areas of things that we either don't want to show or we'd like to clean up a little bit more first. Something Jim talks about a lot. Like we need to get that cleaned up. I know.
We're always busy because we're always doing so much stuff. So sometimes we don't go back and clean and fix stuff. So we slowly have it. And it's actually better. But
it has been. It's the shops, it's always a work in progress, things getting moved around, but the process of these new machines is fun. And it also allows then for more capacity of new things. So I think that's always one of the more exciting parts of it. But hopefully we can show some of that. And we've also planned to do like some edited videos of products, kind of the process start to finish without showing too much, but showing enough to make it interesting.
Well, and then what you're trying to allude to is if we show everyone how we do it, which they're already trying to copy our products, we don't want to show them how to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Certain things that we might be doing that may be easier.
Yeah. So we'll show enough, but without showing too much. Still keeping it interesting to give you guys a little bit of a look into it. Hopefully that goes, that's what people want to see.
But we're going to get a little more loose with that. You've kind of finally convinced me. I'm pretty tight-lipped on some of the stuff, but
yeah. I mean, so like Jim is one of the original founders of Vanquish. We've gone over a little bit of that timeline in the previous videos, but coming before this, you were in an area where any of your advantages were you were head to head with everybody all the time.
Yeah, and back then we didn't have YouTube. When we learned stuff, we kind of had to learn. Now you can type pretty much anything on YouTube and get a video on a how-to. It's like, well, I guess it's a little easier to do certain things, but
Chat GPT, everything.
There's still some tricks of the trade. I've been machining professionally for 30 years, but I've been in machine shops for over 40. So
yeah,
you kind of learn some stuff on the way.
Yeah, and it's a constant thing, either just developing or honing how we want to do things is, even since I've been here, which will be 8 years next month.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it was that long.
Time flies when you get to hang out with me.
No, it seems like it's been forever.
Yeah. Tim, TRD Adventures. Just happy with my trucks of fortune. Y'all, the Vanquish crew. Tim also did, saw TRD Adventures. He did a nice video on the VRD Carbon as well. We all go in and watch the videos, search for it, see who puts up new videos. The Carbon's been super, super popular. We were really happy with seeing everyone's feedback, seeing people's videos, just independently getting them on their own. I've seen probably all of them that have been put up.
Someone talks about getting a tattoo. The comp sense guy, that's his fault, not mine. I'm not against tattoos, but I'm so afraid of getting a bad one. I will never get a good.
I know. I don't know how you could do a bad version of the comp stance.
No, I'm just like tattoos in general.
Yeah. When do we get to see Steve? Today was a toss-up. There was, I said, I don't care who sits. It's like, it'll be my mystery box day. I'm going to walk in that room and whoever sits next to me is sitting there.
Oh, that's not what Mike told me. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. So
we'll
definitely have to get Steve in here one of these days. I'll give him a list of questions to prepare for, though, so he can stay focused. Excuse me. Let's see. Is Trucks of Fortune done now, or will there be more? There are more. I made them stop packing now so that we could do this.
They're packing in the bay next to us, but it's loud.
Yeah. So, and they're loud. So we had, I was like, if you guys can pack silently, that'd be great. Okay. Well, we'll catch up tomorrow. There will be more. There was more up today. There's been more up every day. Tomorrow, the next day may be a lull until this next batch are done and processed through. But you'll see them kind of throughout this month. So if you didn't get them yet, there'll be plenty more chances.
People also might not realize there's a lot of work for you guys to gather up everything, make sure it's correct, and try to do it right.
Yeah. It is a lot of work. So I steal a lot of people away from their job that they would normally be doing.
And try to put the person you put in there and put them back in there.
Yeah,
they keep drifting off.
Yeah, no, get back.
It's like herding kittens.
Yeah.
Not herding kittens.
Yeah, but
herding.
Just go. It's a super fun one for us, though, just because people are excited to see them. We're excited for people to be excited, and then getting to see all the photos and the posts is, it's a little bit of on our side. Kind of the reason we've kept doing it, just because that it does make for such a fun holiday time when things are getting crazy normally. Has the SBG kits gone out yet? That was my fault. Well, it's kind of Matt. I'm going to blame it on Matt. He took too long, and he sent it to an email that I didn't know. And so anyway, his kits will be available soon.
This is nothing new.
Oh.
Someone was asking, what are the rails of your shoulder?
Oh, wow. That's actually good. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know how many of you in here bought the original Origin or Origin Black. So we had the VS410 Origin Limited and VS410 Origin Limited Black. Those were the very first kits we ever produced. They had, machined axles, machined bumpers, sliders, and a 3-gear transmission. But throughout that process, kind of the benefit of having all these machines and mills around us is that when Brandon originally did the first design, or when he got to a revision that he was pretty happy with, we had it's time for tooling and such. But Jim was like, I'll machine him as a sample. So these are actually
3D machines.
This was done out of a big block of 1 inch wide or 3/4 inch wide, probably by 3-inch material. And it's a machined aluminum version of the chassis rails, just as a prototype, so we could test fit and make sure everything was going to work, rather than waiting for tooling for stamping to come back, because that's a process that takes some time.
We were 3D printing parts too, but I wanted to make sure like the main piece was kind of aligned correctly. Yeah. So we're improving parts and tooling.
Properly rigid, all that.
Which is a huge investment as us as a company. We don't want to go back and forth and be doing stuff. So
yeah, one of the did you do 1 or 2 sets of these?
We have some more, I think. There's a couple.
So, but yeah, actually all the 3D machining marks on the backside. It's been
someone actually assembled this one, because this one has marking still.
Yeah, this one definitely has screw marks through it where it was used. So it was used as the mock-up on the very first Origin. Now, of course, it's not something that we were ever planned to do as a part, just because the steel is
Everyone complains about the cost. You don't want the cost.
Yeah, you don't want to see the cost of these.
It's a 1/8 ball end mill moving over a hair at a time.
Yeah, takes a real long time.
But for us, if it takes like an hour to run a machine, it's worth it to get a prototype done that's going to be representative of the product we're going to try to get done.
Yeah, however many hours of programming work, then some machine time, but we can have a usable physical prototype in hand super quick rather than waiting days or weeks, months possibly for tooling to happen of something that's a final production, let alone the fact that we find something that's wrong and have to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
So
that's why we were testing the suspension cycle and everything.
Yep.
Clearance.
The VS410 chassis, the very first time, it was, at that time it was something that we needed. We thought was going to work really well, needed, and to actually get to run it at the time was pretty awesome. So yeah, those are cool little.
We do a lot of things behind the scenes that no one ever gets to see. There's so many parts on my desk and stuff.
Yeah, there.
You guys have an idea, but bring it back to a couple hours later. Here it is.
Yeah. Can you put some Trucks Fortune up for the live? I should have tried to remember and done that today that way instead.
As long as you don't mind waiting.
Yeah. With all the cool combos for Trucks Fortune and Wheels of Fortune, have you ever thought about doing a wheel selector on the website? We've had that up a lot of times. People have asked for that. Totally get it. We have certain restrictions for the platform that we're on and the programming needs it would take to actually get that done. By all means, it's a good idea. I like going on Tire Rack as well and selecting through my tire wheel options, but
that would be awesome.
It's the people you've seen on the camera are the people who kind of do most of like the website and work and things like that. So we don't have a huge staff of people to be like, hey, you're our in-house programmer. If you could knock this out for us.
We're talking about redoing the website.
Yep.
And this is not a feature that would be allowed on it.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't have our own server and our own software. So
yeah, we still work within, the confines of some box stock available and, supported software just because we don't have that team to manage that type of stuff. We get a lot done with the manpower that we have here.
Yeah.
Everyone has to do quite a bit.
We have actually a really good team though.
Yeah, we do.
Everyone's passionate about it. So
yep. The people that are doing this stuff usually care. How's the river?
You agreed I could show a pre-production model.
I did. I pre-agreed.
Pre-production.
It's the earliest possible stages of the Ripper 2.
It's in there.
This is the kit version that we'll be releasing first.
We'll have a chisel.
Yeah. So you get your crayon to mark it out.
There's a chassis in there.
Yeah, there's part of a chassis in there. There's a small portion of one portion of it. And
this gives you an idea.
But yeah,
why rippers are kind of expensive is what we're building it out of.
And this is actually a lot smaller than the original block for the first one. The first one was like another inch wider.
Yes.
So this is 2 by 7.
But there will be more parts.
There will be more parts on this one. It's a long ways away. It's a long ways away.
For some reason, this is a sore subject to him. I have no idea.
Like a long way. But that will be a side of it. Does it come with a Dremel?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Dremel 9,000 included.
If you want the IKEA version, yes.
5-axis sold separately. Yeah, which is that's actually a really fun topic.
80% Ripper non-serialized. I don't know if anyone's really able to finish the other 20%.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
Goals.
It's a little bit different than the regular 80%. But a fun point of the 5-axis thing is when we did the first Ripper, that was all 4-axis work.
4 and 3.
Yeah, 4 and 3.
Yeah.
That's right. So the 5-axis was not a capability we had at that point. So it adds some ability to the shop that allows for some more. I think he just hits an extra button in the programming thing that does most of it now.
Well, and a serious thing is I think Josh kind of doesn't like the Ripper project because there was a lot of labor involved handling the Ripper, and Josh had a lot of messages, a lot of texting. So for me to propose this again was to try to make it as automated as possible.
Yes.
We will have like machine serialization of hands. I think you had to hand do each SolidWorks file, proof each one, then laser, and you're probably like,
yeah, I know. Just like set it on there, go.
So there was a lot of work. And so now that's why we're also doing 5-axis, because it allows us to do more done with one if we can.
Yep.
To take away a lot of labor, making this actually a feasible project, hopefully.
Yeah. Still a wild one, but would you ever make the Ripper in a plastic cage? It wouldn't be a Ripper then. The whole point of that thing was it would never. Yeah, it would just be. So the answer to that would always be no, because it would never be a Ripper if it was plastic.
And no, I don't want to sell the white one.
Right.
I have like a couple more I don't want to sell.
Yeah. Jim's like, I get rid of all the things that I've wanted over the years. Somehow they've disappeared. I'm taking one of these and putting it away. And somehow that turned into 3 of them.
Well, that was on my desk and I got pulled in here. So people may not know this. I used to did paintball guns also. That's where our Ripper kind of came from. It's a long story, but I ended up having to sell a lot of guns to kind of put food on the table during a pretty rough time in my life. So it's like, now I have these things that I've created. I don't want to get rid of them. I regret giving away the guns I had before, but I had to do what you had to do,
Yep. And somebody was here in the shop the other day, and they were asking about I think it was about the original Origin stuff, and asking like, oh, do you have an extra one of those? Like no.
I said, you're gonna have to fight him for it, and him for it.
Yeah.
I was pointing at Mike, you and Brandon.
Because it's like no, we just like
we have a shop one left.
Yeah, we have one left.
It's number 1 and number 2, I think.
Yeah. And that's it, because like at the time, like when we got them, we were selling everything, needed everything. There was no squirreling away a stash of them or anything like that. Like we were Trucks of Fortune for this run. Earlier in the year, we were like, hey, we're going to be running out of Ultras. The Ultras are going to be going away. Let's take that last little stockpile, put them away, and we're going to save those for Trucks of Fortune this winter to make it a little bit special. We had that ability at this time now, compared to like times in the past where we was like, no, if it's there, sell it.
We have to pay bills.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into a shop. So I used to do a lot of Bob Long work. I mean, he gets a lot of credit for my work. Like we just right there, Bob Long Ripper. Just so you know, he didn't want me to do it. And so I'm like, fine, I'll do it for myself. And then I made a bunch. He's like, well, I'll take them. Like the guy's just greedy. He doesn't let people make money. Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't push the idea, that gun would have never happened.
Are there any Ultras to be left to be had in truck? Yes. So I had a predetermined number of Trucks of Fortune to do, and I had a certain amount of Ultras left. So I had the first batch. I divided half of that. I put them in that one, and then I had half of it for this next one. So yes, they're equal chance of receiving those Ultras in whatever batch you get. Same goes with the Pros. So equally distributed. Chances a Ripper can be in Trucks of Fortune is a 0. It has been proposed more than once, even in the shop.
Maybe next year, when we're actually going to actually make them.
Yeah.
Now the ones we have, we're never going to make again.
It's the biggest fear with some of that stuff is like you do get it out there, and it's just to somebody who is going to just scalp it.
A conversation.
It's just like,
or someone gets it, they don't even know what they have, and they just winds up in a garage sale for $50.
Yeah. Plus the fact that the original Ripper was done on axial frame rails so there's so much to it that it's just like, it's just not a real.
Yeah, because they would have to build it.
Yeah, it's such a thing. So we were like, it could be a fun promotion.
I never said Ripper 2 would be out by Christmas. By next Christmas, I guess, not this one. Somewhere between that Christmas and this 2024 Christmas.
Q5 of 2025.
I won't tell you a time. The only thing I'll tell people is we're working on it. It just takes time. slowly chipping through. It's a big process.
And there's always another project that pops up. Like, hey, we need another servo mount, and we need you to reprogram a beadlock ring again. So,
which is my bane.
I know. Like, I've moved beadlock rings on so many machines.
Probably 14 CNCs now.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, this, oh no, this, oh no, this.
That one sold, so we have to set it up again. It's kind of like the idiocracy.
Yeah, it's always something. So but the truck's fortune for that, we try and make it so that it's still, no matter what, you're getting a good value. It's a fun promotion, and it just we try and do the best we can to make sure that as many people as possible are happy. Ripper V2 in special colors. No.
Again, that became a subject. We actually had people, when it came down to pay for it, was all said and done, they would actually back out.
I had over 1,000 messages with one person.
And so Josh he's got PTSD on it.
Yeah.
Now, my idea is to have cage sets and body panel sets in colors that are already pre-made, and you can mix and choose as they're available.
Yeah, if it's available as it's available. There's no ordering ahead of time or choosing. You will not get to have a conversation about it.
So basically, it's available. We'll help flip the package, and then Dan goes back and picks out the color frame, gauge, wherever in panels. He puts them in the box, seals it. That's how it's going to go. We're trying to make this an easy process because it could suck us up. Too much work.
There's a lot of planning still ahead. We're not in that yet. It's just big picture at this point, but
I know Josh is talking about it.
I do.
Because half the time he's wrong. I had to throw that in there.
It's a false statement. That statement was wrong.
But you were wrong yesterday.
It's much less than 50%.
Weren't you wrong yesterday?
I know when I'm wrong. I'll admit it proudly. I dream of trucks fortune every day.
I think it's funny how it's the same thing actually happened with Ripper paintball guns when I did the autocockers. Like, no one wanted to buy it in the beginning, and then I stopped making it. Oh, I want one.
Yeah.
It was available, and I was like, set up. I could have made more.
Yeah, there you go. There's always those products, the ones that like they're stopped. Yeah, method roofs. Those were a rim that just were they
didn't want me making more because they weren't selling.
They were by far our worst selling wheel.
Now everyone wants them.
Now, yeah, it's like
well, they say they do.
Yeah, exactly. There's 9 guys who are real loud about it, but it's always those There's the wheels that just don't do well. Like, okay, there's no point in making these. So they stop being made, and then 2 years later, we finally run out of inventory on them, and then everyone gets mad. I'm like no. But yeah, the older the Yeti bulkheads. Some of those products now that are on machines that are automated and were done in a way that were planned from the beginning to be able to be just turned off and then just turned back on later. Mm-hmm. It's all made in a way that
because we were seeing those problems pop up and trying to manage these parts and figure out how to handle it. It was a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
because at the time I was like the only machinist on the floor handling at the time 13 machines.
Yeah,
I mean I have a new guy helping me out. He's been doing great, and he's been taking some load off me.
Yep, that's been another side of things that's been. But
someone's asking me at autocockers. If you look up Ripper autococker, you'll see my first work.
Oh, there you go. Nice. That Brian Sherwood's first paintball guy. I really wish the Halo Holies would come back. That was the same thing. It was just one of those ones that was less than. Why do we have more? Where did this one come from? Oh, I didn't know that there was a red one. This is Steve's Ripper, evidently. 151. And so I didn't know that this one exists. When did this get done?
When you were gone on one of your long vacations.
I think people would be upset. There's like 3 more still waiting for serialization for over a year because he has so much PTSD about it.
I think we. I think you're right.
And hey, you guys brought up 8 years, Josh. Congrats. Only seems like 20 to me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, America.
Oh, it actually looks pretty good.
Right.
Needs new tires.
It does. I'm a
That was a fun project, though.
Especially at the time when it was
so out of the box.
Steve's funny about it now. He hated that project.
Well, let's tell people why.
I don't 100% remember why.
I do.
Let's
Why?
tell the people why. You guys stopped working and wasted all the time on this.
Well, not just that.
Just did nothing. But
I
play
had
with this.
Steve order a ton of material.
Oh yeah, we ordered enough.
and
for
I cut all the
36.
parts. And then you sat on them.
What?
Yeah, you did nothing.
No,
Nothing.
that was
You were
way
supposed to-
late.
You wanted to sell them.
This is from
and
the,
they weren't selling because you wouldn't sell them.
this was from the get-go.
You refused to sell them.
That
Everyone
was
knows
way down the road.
Josh is a large child, and he got his ripper, and he was kind of done with the project.
He was done with the whole project. He quit.
That is far from the truth.
False.
Wh-
False.
When we got later down the road, that was it. But when we,
No. It should never have been that way. You came to me, you're like, hey, I need blank amount of aluminum. And it just sat there, and Jim and I watched you just sit
I
on
cut
it.
'em.
You're like hoarding aluminum. It was weird.
the aluminum,
It was creepy.
the very first ones, when we decided to do it, we decided to make 9.
Yeah, that was like the original set, somewhere on there.
There was,
Because one of us was done with your project and wasting time on it.
there was one, we were going to make 9. We ended up making 8, I think, because there was one that got scrapped. Out of that, then we decided to make them, and they went into production. That was going. And then later on down the road, it drug for the obvious reasons.
Oh, that's my
It was
fault.
a
Is that my fault?
nightmare.
Is that my fault?
And what actually, yes, the whole thing was Steve's fault, because originally these were all going to be a clear chassis with black panels. And one day, Steve gets a phone call. Yeah, you guys pick any color you want. What do you want to do? And
You
then,
know what? Hey, keep talking.
Wait.
I'm going to release the
Wait,
Ripper
wait.
3 right now.
Wait, what color was his?
black and clear.
Black and clear.
And
You know,
it
was-
turned into an absolute, oh, my mom's saying, learning a lot about my son.
Mrs. Thede. Hi, Mrs. Thede. He's a slob.
She knows that.
Send us a text later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
We have a lot to talk about, Mrs. Thede.
So that project became a lot of hassle. And
For
it-
you.
and
For
it-
you, any other person would have
It
had
was
no
a lot.
problem.
I saw some of the emails. It was daunting, though.
yeah,
It really was.
it became,
But that's why we're going to do it differently.
yes, it
There's
was,
really no conversation. Either you want to buy it or don't.
yeah, it was-
If you don't, someone else in a person, Dan's going to ship it to them anyway.
yeah.
We're going to make it simple.
Yeah.
For us.
For the getting rid of the communication side of having to do all of it is really what will be a big time saver. So, all Josh, he hated that project. Thanks, Dan.
That, and we'll try to also make it so you can buy panels again.
Yes.
Since they will be on machines that can continuously make them.
Right, which it was being set up for it in the first place. Like when we did them, the very first 9, we did it in one way on one machine,
And I changed it again.
and then we decided that we were actually going to sell them, which was not the plan at all, and ended up reprogramming everything for other machines
Yep.
to make them run at night and stuff like that, which was a whole different. It was not starting over completely, but
It was
largely. Fixturing and things like that really became a whole different world for it all. But yeah, special color you're just gonna have like one selection on the website. It's just gonna be like CarMax. It's just whatever's on there and available. And after that, nope, the other one, that one, yeah.
Maybe sure.
So there you go. That's.
So they just got there. Do you want to know if this is going to happen? Do
It-
you want to
it-
show the pre-production model again?
Yeah. if you're just joining,
Pre-production model.
I wonder if someone watched this video in high speed, they could just watch my blood pressure. Just
But that's just because that's when I entered the room.
yeah, exactly.
Pre-production model. There you go.
Yeah, he started doing some work on the bottom there, as you can
That's
tell.
dovetail for prototyping.
That's so it gets held in the fixture. Can I order one in the new light blue? I have seen some of the new. So we did a new light blue color for the Trucks of Fortune. There's Wheels of Fortune that come in some of the Trucks of Fortune. It's a new light blue color. I've seen a couple of people post it up, got a couple of messages with them. I haven't seen as many though, because I'm slightly concerned that a number of people do not know that it's a special color when they get it. If they haven't necessarily owned our blue before, they may not know that they're getting a special wheel. So it is 3:30. So if you're on the Facebook side, you can jump over to the YouTube side, Vanquish Products YouTube, search for it. You'll see it. It'll be the one that's live. You can catch the second half hour of the show over there.
Yes.
There we go. All
I'm
set.
learning.
Yes, we're all learning our system.
I'm doing the best to be a millennial today.
Yeah. The having the streaming set up in here is solid.
Someone was asking though, actually, since we've made them, yes, maybe made them, asking about this one. Because I don't know where we're at on that.
Do you think we can expect behind the servo axle mounts and the transmission kits before Christmas? Yes, on both, or I think even more. So the behind the axle steering mount that we have is an aluminum version. Those are you'll probably see those this week. Those are in through packaging already. There's only a couple of steps left on that. Part of it is definitely on me. So you'll definitely see those, I think, this week.
I like this one.
Josh so yes, on that. What was the stubby kit, I think was the other one he asked about.
Because they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
They do. So the behind the axle steering kit mount will be a good application for like custom builds in a lot of cases. To pair it in something like the VRD Carbon, you will need the stubby kit. But again, they'll all be available well before Christmas. So that's you'll see that all on the website. I think Brandon has one. Is his moon buggy in here? No, mine is.
I don't see it.
Okay. Brandon, I think, is running one on his moon buggy, and he's got his VFD turned backwards to so he has all kinds of room in the front. But I can imagine that the F10s, both the Portal and Straights, are super popular. In
Focus.
Oh, there you go. That's just your face. Your face is blurry. So that mount will work for people's custom builds in all kinds of ways. But yes, VRD, you'll need the stubby as well. The mount will be available first. The stubby will be shortly thereafter, though. Also, the CMS kit that you saw us put on the VRD last week will be in stock at the same time as that stubby kit. And those are both coming soon. Like Brazen was just asking, they're time for the CMS soon, like this month. So yeah, this month you'll see all three of those products available.
You guys made me make the parts, so that's
yes.
Sell them.
Yeah. Now we need another servo mount.
I know.
BTA servo mount length would be awesome to get that in the description so we can get both in one shot. Absolutely. That's a reasonable request.
Well, it should be sold with the package.
No, because they're already packaged and instructions are done. And but yeah, we'll get all that stuff in there. It kind of depends a little bit depending on straight axle or portal. So, but we can still get that in there. What's the price on the stubby kit? You'll see that as soon as I get it on the website, because I'll know it at that time. No, I just can't remember all that at this point. I've done the spreadsheets and stuff, but yeah.
Has Josh mentioned his plans for a VP 24 scale crawler?
So I am diving back into 24 scale because there's 2 comps this weekend, and I love a competition. So these guys have seen all of my ridiculous packages showing up for.
That means you're gonna do less work again.
24.
Finally had you focused like a horse of blinders.
Yeah.
Now you're like taking the blinders.
Like, ooh, a butterfly. So yeah, I gotta try and get that built this week. Most of I think all of my parts arrived today. So I'll start building. Try this 124 scale thing again.
Did you get everything?
I think so. So other than the parts that I have to make myself, like a chassis and wheels and stuff.
I mean, I always support you doing that stuff. It's like that's part of the fun of this sport.
It is, and it's learning and fun and all that, and then we also have a 1/10 scale comp this weekend, so VRD for that. So I'll have 3 comps in one weekend.
Do
Good
something
thing.
else to raise your blood pressure. Just start poking you.
Yeah. It works.
I mean, he's very skittish. Like, you usually scare him, but
I'm
right here.
I'm focused, and usually I just walk into a room and they're like right there. We have mirror tinted windows in a lot of places in our building, and they like to stand right on the other side.
How many RCs do I own?
Hmm.
There's a room full of
Yeah, if you count the percentage of all the ones in the building, it's a lot. So, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, as many as I could ever need.
Yeah.
The VRD has been Dino. I've actually seen his posts as well on Facebook. I think he did a nice looking body on his.
This one, John?
Yep.
What about it?
I've just seen his posts on the VRD or the VS410 groups.
Have we got any really bad press on it? People that don't know our brand. I mean, there's always gonna be the
There's
haters.
always. I mean, I've watched most of the videos that people have done, and
We sent to some good friends of yours, and they all say good things, so we're very happy about that.
I mean, I expect my friends to say good things though, so it's more the ones that I
They're
don't.
not good friends. They should tell you honestly.
It's more the ones that I don't that I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh, super happy to see it. Glad everyone's running them. A lot of people running them basically stock just to test it out. We're super happy to see that as well. I think it does. Josh taught. Oh, the water bottle. We got a delivery of stickers from Thread and Resin.
I think someone asked about stickers earlier.
Well, this is from Josh Toth.
I think that was his question earlier.
It's his stickers.
Sometimes there's so many questions we can't answer them all.
That sounds like a you problem. That's something I say quite a bit.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I say that. So I've got a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I've passed them out throughout the shop. There's a stack in the office.
Mike pilfered half of them.
Mike is such a sticker. Just he can't come back for seconds. Get off of there. Packaging girls have dug in as well. But yes, someone asked earlier about VRDs and trucks of fortune. Those are we put that in the description that those were not good, since they're out of stock. Like we didn't squirrel some away for that. I would have loved to have had a stock and been able to include those, but it just didn't happen.
Is it possible later on?
We shall see. Depending on timing and things like that, it's all up in the air. There's a whole lot that goes into the whole project. It's fun, but it's it's a constant dance of changing. And I feel like the Ferrari team with all of my plant, I've stacked, there's BOMs and BOMs. As things like need to change or run out, we have to change what a combo is. We get another one, plan E already. Let's see. So is it time to talk about drift wheels yet? I actually put them back on the shelf over there. Just it's becoming a little museum in here. And I kind of like that.
Someone's asking about your 8-year anniversary. Is he going to finally do the rim? I mean, you brought him up. I mean,
the drift, those we do need. They need to be washed. They're quite dusty.
Probably should be plated if you're going to get rid of them.
Oh yeah, they're probably not. Oh really?
I think so. I don't know if I ever had them plated. I can't remember actually. It was done such a long time ago.
Yeah, more than 8 years. So.
Then I don't think they were laser because they were supposed to have a little Nick Motegi was the brand.
Are you going to Vegas for the race? No, I'm not. I will not be attending. As much as I would like to, that's kind of a lie. I would also just like to be at home and watch it because
it's going to be kind of cold there.
It is going to be quite cold, and also I just like to be home, see it from my couch, and Nicole will watch it with me. So.
Not the usual login.
Yeah, right.
I'm kind of interested about that one.
It's gonna be good. So I'll wash them when they arrive. These are there. I wouldn't want Dan to have to pack this dusty box of wheeling. Josh, what's your favorite meme page to follow on Instagram? F1 Trollers support. Ooh, I don't know. Disappointing affirmations. I'll have to find that. I do love a good meme page though. It seems to be half of my feed.
That's like half the things that we send each other.
Oh, I know. We have like 3 different group chats in our Instagram. It's just totally reasonable, appropriate humor at all times.
No, the ones I can't share.
Yeah. I got that's not funny enough.
That'll make me lose some followers.
That
seems political enough.
So let's see. Why is there no 1.9 gold Machete V2s? So I think that I didn't do gold machete V2s, and I don't know if I ever did. I don't think I did gold 1.9 method 101s. And no specific reason other than they just didn't get done. And then the photo that it's something that can get added, and wheels are a constant production thing. So it's trying to make sure they're just going.
Conversion kit?
Will you guys sell a conversion kit so people could convert their RTR or kit chassis to the VRD carbon? We would not need the axles, convert the truck. Yeah. So kind of like a chassis convert.
It'd be kind of a hard problem.
It would be an interesting one. It would be hard to get the value there to make it not just make more sense to buy the kit. There's a lot of stuff in the VRD carbon kit that if you were trying to like buy it to replicate it, it would end up costing you a lot more. The VFD lightweight machine gears on their own would add up to quite a bit. The carbon chassis, the high clearance links, they're the link kit all around because they are slightly different links than what you would find in your current kit, just to get everything to work there.
But I already did leak something, so I'm showing it to you. It's right there. It's a prototype one.
So we do look at that stuff quite a bit. Like when people ask for that, it's like, okay, well, does it make sense? What would the cost end up being? Then would it be so close to just what the package for the whole kit would be that it would not make sense?
And there's infinite combinations of what we can release. Sometimes, like Josh says, it has to make sense. We're trying to find pathways that are easy for us and for the consumer.
So yeah, it's a tough one, but it's by no means something that like we wouldn't consider. It would just have to be, costed out, see how it works, see where it would fit into the market. And the other thing is that the aftermarket is so good with aftermarket chassis options. I feel like one area that aftermarket world was lacking though was completeness. Like oftentimes you could get chassis rails, but that's a portion of it. You still need cross braces and links and all this. And part of what the aftermarket was missing in a lot of cases was just like, here is that one kit you're talking about, but does everybody want the same kit, or they want this guy's chassis or that guy's chassis and this one? That it's
Josh has said that from day one about that kit.
And
I always look at like, I have kids, so I'm always busy. So it's hard for me to find time to go figure all the stuff I need. That's kind of like, I was like, yeah, we should definitely do that. I kind of force these guys in a way of like, think of like the guys like me, where I want to be more involved, but I don't have time to go know every body, every frame, everything that's going to go all together. And that's what we've been trying to accomplish.
Right. And that's, that is the difference between trying to make things that are like good consumer products versus like the boutique aftermarket chassis manufacturers who they can fill those niches of like super specialized designs that take a lot of very, specific types of setups, which are super cool. We personally like them. We follow those same types of pages and it's fun to see, but it has to be something you can put together and give to, a store who may not be fully educated on it, and they can sell it and everything is there. And that's what we try and do, is like, it's got everything you need. It's got all the, instructions or whatever. The servo mount that we were talking about earlier, that F10 behind the axle one, is kind of one of those examples of something that's a little bit more kind of like how some of the stuff used to be, which is like, this is a specialized part. We know that people want it, but it kind of goes with like, well, okay, we're gonna have to put a lot more text in our description. Like, if you buy this, you have to understand this is for these types of applications. It kind of gets away from that mentality that we were just talking about. So,
and if we include stuff like that, it would also increase costs for something that someone might not ever use.
Yeah. So it's we that behind the axle servo mount thing, that was something that was just wanted in-house. Brandon, I think, really wanted that.
Yeah, and you guys need a special motor. You guys
right
hand chop down your transmission.
And Jim made us some prototypes of that like I'm running on my comp truck behind us here. Brandon was running as well, but it wasn't necessarily something that was immediately thought to be a product we were going to make. you'd put it on the 5-axis and whittle it out of a cube.
Well, I mean, it's easy to make a quick part. It's going to production is hard.
Yeah,
I always tell you guys that.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like, oh, we can make this. Like, this is not done in a way that could be a production part. This is just here's a part that you wanted.
Yeah, and then we did some stuff with it, and then we kind of learned, and we made production out of it.
I'm definitely going to grab this. Tim. I know he was talking in his video on the VRD about the behind the axle and the stubby mount. The servo mount on top of the axle, that one is a molded mount that comes in the VRD carbon. That will be available separately here before too long. So you'll see those available. But it does put the servo a little bit higher. It's just more universal. That will be available to work on a huge number of chassis or custom applications, whatever you have in mind. But this behind the axle one is just another option. Ideally, you're going to run a low profile servo to keep the bottom less exposed, even though I'm not. I think I'm running the full. What am I running? I have a triple. I'm a hack.
Your body clips aren't on.
I've got a 888 in mine, and it's not super scratched, but it definitely hangs below the axle. It's got some usage on it. There's no denying that. But that stubby, it's a nice short little skid plate there, and the little revolver inside. But this truck needs cleaned.
You don't clean anything.
I usually spray it down and blow it off before events.
Josh also does prototypes for the frames. He's been doing all those for us.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my own little CNC router, which I've had for a few years now, and I love having that machine. But it's been nice for some stuff like that, where that's not stuff that we would do here. Cutting carbon fiber commercially is a bit of a different world in California. Well, even anywhere, if you're going to follow all of the rules, all of the guidelines.
Which I don't think some people are.
Some people are not. And if you're not ever in an area where you're going to be looked into, it's okay. But if we try and we do try and do things pretty close to by the book. You have to know all the rules is half the battle. It's hard to.
Well, I went to Chicago, the International Machine Tool Show, whatever, and I think me and Brandon were talking to the guys that sell these machines. And I'm like talking about legalities, and they're like, basically, you guys can't sell me something that's like 100% legal. Like, what are you talking about? We don't want to be involved with it.
Yeah. So, they're talking negative pressure chambers and extractions.
It was definitely heavily involved.
So we're like, oof. Like,
I guess you can't be legal. It's just holy.
Yeah. All the safety stuff is pretty interesting. Oh yeah. Okay. This is a very early thought at this point, but we are going to be looking for another person in-house here in the near future, near-ish, for someone who's specifically like a social media marketing professional. So someone who's been in the industry, hopefully the automotive industry in Northern California. This would be somebody we'd want in-house. So if you are or know somebody who is in that world professionally with some experience and would maybe like playing with toy trucks fairly regularly, we've got a need for another person in-house. So it's something that we'll talk about. We'll probably see, more as we start getting thing to, get there, but it's
gonna be we know it's gonna be a hard find.
So it is gonna be a hard find,
for the right person,
the right fit, the right personality. You may not know this, but there are some strong personalities.
Why not Matt in here?
Yeah,
someone local.
Yeah, we need this person to be here at least like 4 days a week. So
I don't mind if someone the Fargo. We have a bunch of guys live in Fargo coming in 3 days a week.
Yes, 3 days a week.
They have to come in though, because communicating through emails for what we need to do is just too hard.
It is. The remote thing. We know some people that would make good fits, but they're not local, and it's like, man, it's something that maybe we'll consider down the road if we can't find the person here. But for now, we are looking for somebody who's going to be in this area and has been in the field and has some professional experience, because it's something that we think we know that we're winging this whole thing.
So send Josh a text.
Yeah.
More messages.
If you are legitimately looking, you can reach out through the website. Mike will send you to one of us through our actual email, but rather than just blasting that email out there, I suppose I should try and go.
If Matt would move to California, do that in a heartbeat.
If Matt wanted to live here,
because he's the type that fits with us.
yeah, he could.
We're very picky about personalities. Like, you could be the best in the world at what you do. If you have a crappy personality and can't work with us, then you can't be here.
It's super tough. It's there's a lot to being in this type of environment. We work with each other closely all day, every day, and we all actually get along amazingly.
For 8 years.
Not 100% sure how. So, but it would be helpful. And, there's I would not say that I would be I don't have that qualification of a professional social media person. I've had mine for however long, but the people who are in it, there's a lot that goes into knowing the real ins and outs. And
it's not just social media, it's also product descriptions and
photography, and there's so much that goes into that type of thing.
Some stuff can be kind of cross-trained, but you have to be kind of a professional in a couple of different areas to really fill that gap.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. So hopefully we, it's something that we initially need to start looking at, and then hopefully we find someone when the time is right.
Sounds like you need thick skin to fit in your place. For
helps.
Good reasons, not for bad reasons.
Yeah.
We like to have fun. We tell a lot of jokes. So yeah, I guess you have to have some skin on.
Yes. There's a lot of, in the end, it is toy cars. There's not a lot of toy car emergencies, but there's still a lot of business to get done. So there's a lot of both that goes around. So yeah, and we would also be looking for someone who's it'd be nice if they were in the RC world, but that's not likely where we're going to find. It's likely going to be automotive or outdoor type world, and we can then train the RC side. But the knowledge beyond that is what we're definitely needing. But yeah.
In the future, we might be looking for other type people, but yeah.
Yeah. There's a conversation. I was trying to catch up, and I saw there's a conversation going between people on what will work and things like that. Yeah. I need 2 mice. Let's see. When will the machine rodents be back in stock? We're working on a new rat design here, but I assume you mean rod ends. So those
I'm confused. I'm like, is there an inside joke here?
Nope. That's an auto. What do you call that? Whatever.
Autocorrect.
Yeah, that word. That is on the list right now. We're working on a bunch of universals, but we will get.
We're catching up on the more common projects that should never be out of stock right now.
Yep.
Which we're trying to put back in stock.
Mike is one of the machine guy who's been on the floor for over a year now, actually.
And we've trained him into our screw machines.
He's doing the screw machine side now, and he's kicking ass over there. But there's a lot to catch up on. So
it kind of was neglected for a while.
It was, and he's someone who's got some real good mechanical know-how and is able to get in there and identify the things that need to be identified, and he's doing a great job at it. But we have a backlog of things now that he's chewing through efficiently and doing a really good job at.
I've seen what these guys do to the bathrooms. You do not want to be our in-house.
Yeah.
They eat Taco Bell a lot. And then some other off-brand Mexican restaurant down the street too.
We're in a really crappy area of town, so that means we have really good Mexican food nearby. So
I know, I smell it a lot.
It's so good. Can't help it. But we have 5 minutes left of this. It's these shows are great for random info, things like that. Obviously not the most efficient way to get all of the information out, but hopefully entertaining nonetheless. If you do enjoy these, make sure you subscribe to the Vanquish channel. Little notification bell, all that, all of the YouTube things. So these have been positive, though. We've enjoyed doing them on here. There's a lot of people who follow the shows, and we see that in the groups, especially. We know there's all fans may not see it, and then there's a lot of things like we told people that, like, oh, we told it on the live stream only, didn't we? Like, that's probably not the best place to only get the information out there.
We're trying to get more information out. I mean,
yep.
While we're doing this, I could be programming.
Yeah, we do take an hour and a half or so away from regular day-to-day stuff to do it, but it's with startup and things, but it's been worth it, and we've appreciated the feedback we've got as well. So thank you to all of you guys. Yeah, so if there's anything else you guys have, let us know. Otherwise, we'll end this one. Been another good show. Even we do get the question, like, what are we going to do on the show today? I'm like, that's fine. Let's turn it on. It'll work out.
Sometimes the comments help lead us.
Oh, comments always help, but that's the good part for sure. Fordyce parts coming. Some of the specific Fordyce items. I think the cabs are on the website. Grills are on the website. Bed sides are the same as the Phoenix. A lot of the other parts underneath are basically compatible with previous VS410 things. The VFD is the standard VFD, so all the upgrades work for that. The Curry D44 axles are available. The HD44 axles are available. F10Ts. So, any chance of putting out a link kit for the Fordyce that moves the front axle forward like you did on the? So a specific link kit with just those 3 links. It actually probably could. It probably wouldn't be too bad. The easiest way is to grab the 2 titanium link packs. It would cost you $22, and you could get the titanium ones. But getting a set of stainless ones out there that have everything you need wouldn't be a big deal.
Did you tell people the size?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the people that are wondering, I had the Fordyce budget build on my channel, the Harley Design channel, and on 1 week I stretched the front axle like 6 mil out just to improve approach angle, a little bit longer wheelbase, helps with climbing at times. I like the style of it. So pretty easy to do, but you do need to know a couple of part numbers. I did put them in the description of that video if you wanted more info. Of course, you'd have to go search for it. If you want to watch a couple of other videos on my channel, it's
which
fine.
episode?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's probably like week 3. I don't know. So, use a debit card instead of a credit card and VRD. Wife found out. Yeah, I get every once in a while like, what is this? Like, I don't know. If Nicole asked every time she saw, though, it'd be a whole nother problem.
You want to tell them what you guys got caught at in Vegas for your wife?
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Which story?
Blood pressure again.
I did my best.
We were driving home the end of the night, and Steve had seen a sign or whatever. He's like, man, I can go for a shake. I was like, so we were in an Uber driving back to our hotel, and I ordered shakes from the only place that was open at the time that would deliver, and it happened to they were vegan almond milk chocolate milkshakes. But evidently my Uber Eats account is tied to Nicole's as well, so it said she's like, you guys had vegan almond milk chocolate milkshakes delivered at 11:50 to your hotel in Vegas? Like, wow, you guys are really partying it up. No worries about you guys. Like, there you go. Worked out. Wholesome evening.
For front axles?
Capper front axles, that's part of the universals we're running right now. We do have capper front housings still left. That's another topic, though, for another day.
If we need to make them, we'll make some more.
So that's
we have a bunch still in stock, though.
We do still have some in stock. Capper front axles were made on a machine that we no longer have. So
for good reasons.
For really good reasons. If the demand still exists after we get to the ones that we have, then it'll have to be something that's reprogrammed and put on new machines. So at this time, those are in a limbo, but you will see those come back into stock for quite a while as soon as all the Universal stuff is caught up on those.
My dad went to high
Swiss
school
machines.
with you. No, Milpitas High School, Pioneer High School.
Were the shakes any good? They were excellent.
Did he have good things to say about that? I'm curious.
Well, that'll do it. 4:00. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Another Tuesday. Hit the like button on your way out. Nope. Hit that. Nope. Hit the end one now. Okay.
Are you done talking
Now we're done. Goodbye.
You sure?